Welcome back to another episode. This is kind of like a scattered, lost episode because I just do a bunch of miscellaneous things around the house. One of the biggest things in this house is at nighttime, it is a nightmare to navigate around. So hopefully, I'm doing some things to kind of remedy that. I hope you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, so another late night here at the house, and one of the things that drives me nuts here is I don't know what any switches do. And today, since it was raining, so it's super wet outside, and it's the middle of the night, I put it on myself to use my label maker and label all the light switches. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and do some of that, time lapse it, and join me. Show you, this is just vacuum hood, and there's so many switches everywhere. So this is the stove light, it's a kitchen light, and the rear, I've been able to figure out this is the outside light, this is the hallway light, this one turns on the basement, this is a blanking plate, so I don't know what was here, but I mean we could figure it out in the future. But at least this way, when you come in here, you kind of know which one's which. You're not flipping like sporadically 20, 30 switches. So I'm gonna try to make my way around from here on. Some lights that are really obvious, I'm probably not going to label them. Like obviously the inlet for the dining room. I guess there's wall lights and then main lights. And I mean, like if there's only one switch in the hallway, I'm not going to label it. But some of them are kind of confusing. Like this one is actually the wall light. So I don't know if this works. Here's our fancy carbon monoxide detector. That was really cheap on not eBay, Amazon. Oh yeah, so only one of these works. So this is the wall light. That might be confused for a maybe a garbage disposal or something. But I think this is fairly obvious that that's probably for that. That's why I'm probably not going to label this just for the sake of labeling. We're just trying to make life easier in most cases if possible. So behind this door, there are two lights they have the wall cover right here, which is I guess a special wall cover because it's made out of metal and double-sided or stacked. I've never seen something like that before. This one's clearly a pantry light because the pantry light turns on. This one, I don't see anything turn on. And crazy enough, I don't know. I think there's a light switch on the wall here too. I don't know if that's a switch. Yes, that is a switch. Maybe this operates, oh yeah, this operates the wall lights. Okay, that's nice. So pantry lights, wall lights, and let's see. Yeah. I don't know what this could be. And I've lost track. Oh, here is the light for... Okay. That's a pantry light. This is a pantry light. And this is a pantry light. That's a three-way switch. Okay, that was unnecessary. Now how do I turn off the light above me? Okay, this is the fridge light. That's the pantry light. This is a light for the hood. This is the stove light. Oh, this is a part of the kitchen light. Okay. All right, so that's a part of the kitchen light. Now we know. And we have an extra pantry light. We can add that in. Oh, I 100% misspelled that. That says fire play instead of fireplace. But at this point in time, I'm most likely going to replace all these wall plates anyways with more color fitting ones. And after I fix all this stuff, same thing. It's a little crispy over here. So we'll just let that one slip. The annoying things about this place is there are a lot of hidden light switches behind doors. So like, let's say you normally keep this door open. You're never gonna know there's a light switch behind here, which, and I mean, this one looks like it's kind of damaged too, but it's just really annoying. All right, I have a complaint here, and that would be these lights. And let me tell you what my complaint is. So, to remove these lights, there's a little hook, okay? I already took one out. You're supposed to pull the hook all the way back, like so, okay? And then slide the bulb lightly down. Keep in mind, that hook is made out of metal. Keep in mind, this light bulb is made out of glass. So if you slip somehow and this thing flings back, it's gonna shatter this glass. This is, quite frankly, not a really great design. These bulbs, I'm not sure if you can hear that, are definitely broken. Now we have that guy open. I'm gonna open that metal part where the transformer is. We're gonna turn on one of these switches, see if there's buzzing, and we can test with our death stick to see if there's electricity. And if there is electricity, then I could label that switch ceiling. The other one, still a mystery. Boost is here. Hey Boost, you wanna say hi? You wanna say hi to the camera? No? All right. Well, Turb's gonna photobomb you. All right, another dumb feature. What's nice is they saved me 2 spare light bulbs in there. They were real dusty. That had a sheet of paper on it that said nothing. And we figured out it's this switch, okay? And I don't know if this is dumb or not, but apparently they're daisy chained. So when I put one light bulb in, it didn't turn on. So I was thinking I could just put in one light bulb. If that worked, great. If the other one worked, great. So I put one light bulb in and it didn't turn on. It wasn't until I put the second light bulb in because I was thinking to myself, what if they're chained together? And long and behold, after they've gotten chained together, they turn on. So this is one light I am going to replace, but temporarily I can avoid because there's a lot of stuff to do and I still need to buy a ton of light fixtures. And this is not one of them that I necessarily need to do at this moment. Eventually, I think what I'd like to do is, instead of having a light switch, I'll just have a PID motion sensor up top or a motion sensor here. Probably on top would make more sense. So whenever somebody walks by, they'll just turn on by itself. So hopefully that works out. Now we can mark this guy ceiling. So that's the ceiling light. This one, still unknown, does nothing. Not sure where it's connected to, but we'll soon figure that out. So in case you guys are wondering, this is the Dymo Rhino 4200. So I originally bought this to do automotive stuff. So you can buy these cartridges and essentially you could like print on anything. It starts out flat, so it could be round, but it would be a flat sheet. So I used to use this for electrical wiring. So I'd get a heat shrink wrap. I'd write what it was, like, cam position sensor or something like that when I did my wiring harnesses. And I'd print them out and I'd heat shrink wrap them to the harnesses. And that way, like, in case you ever run into an issue, you can always reference on without an actual wiring diagram. You can reference on the wire, okay, this is supposed to go to where, and you can find the other end, and then you can measure continuity. So this is actually a really cool tool. I'll leave a link. I don't. Amazon hates me for some reason, so like I don't get any affiliate. If I do, I'll let you know, but I don't think I get any affiliate. Like I've posted links and stuff, and I know tons of people click on them. I've received nothing, but I just think it's a cool tool. I'm not sponsored by them, and I don't get anything for it. But if you like something like this, check it out. As usual, we have our companion on the job today. Hey, buddy. She's tired. The living room, and another one of those rooms where the light switches are behind the door. And for some reason, these two light switches both turn on the ceiling lights. It's just that the first set does like every other ceiling light, and the second set fills in the other ones. So why, I don't know. I mean, I'd prefer just to have all of them on. So here you go. So that's the intermediate in between. So that's one set, and that's the second set. So why? I also don't know how it's physically possible for almost every light bulb in this place to be bad. Like every light bulb I've taken off is bad, which seems like almost a physical impossibility. Hey, boobs. Someone came to visit, which is still crazy to me. Guys, welcome back. And today is kind of special. This is the makeshift office in the school. And you'll see a couple new things that I haven't really shown. One, I picked up a server rack off Craigslist. And it is a 42U. And the funny thing is, I'm really uneducated in this. So that is actually a AV media rack, which I didn't know was different than a server rack. It's slightly different. So people are saying the biggest difference is that an AV media rack is actually shorter than a server rack. So a server rack is usually 30 inches plus. AV rack is usually like 20 something inches. This happens to be 25 inches, which for most 4U cases should fit fine. And there's a specific reason why I got this server rack. So the first reason is since there's so many rooms in here and the school itself has a bunch of switches, which should help, except for that none of them are labeled. So I have to go ahead and try to figure out like which wire goes where, if they're broken somewhere, et cetera, which is a nightmare in itself. But the biggest problem I've encountered isn't even that. It's that when I call the internet company, so for most of you guys in the US, it's going to be Verizon or Comcast or Xfinity, because Comcast is so hated they had to rebrand themselves. By the way, I do hate Comcast. It's terrible. Their customer support is the worst. Anyways, basically for this building, there are 4 internet hookups. So it's either the annex, the main building, the basement, or I think this is the second floor of the annex, the first floor of the annex, main building, and then the basement. So I absolutely have no idea where those come into or what they're doing. And obviously, since this is going to be a house, I, in theory, should be able to just do one internet connection for the entire house. So one of those things, because I have one internet service provider instead of 4, I think definitely I'm going to need some sort of rack with a switch of some sort. So I did buy some patch panels. So I have some Keystone patch panels that are going to go in there. I'm probably going to have to run multiple PoE. So PoE is power over Ethernet, repeaters or routers in some sort of mesh network across the whole house. And all of that has to kind of go somewhere. And that's why I got the rack. This is kind of overkill, but I got it for $80. I think these brand new are like $1,000 to $2,000. Sky's the limit, really. So I thought this was a good deal. Picked it up. It's super, super duper heavy, which is good and bad. Next up, the reason why I need this thing is I am planning on wiring in security cameras throughout the whole house. So I picked up some cardboard boxes. This is an NVR. I picked up 16 cameras. These are not sponsored, by the way. I did reach out to a few companies that do security, and since my channel's so small, they just told me to kick rocks. So that's exactly what I did, and I bit the bullet, and I bought this system. So I will explain the setup and the system, whatnot, in a future episode of me setting everything up. I'm sure it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt because the walls are block. So I do need like a concrete drill, diamond drill bit to kind of drill through that. I do plan on running junction boxes, which I did get. And the house is white, so I ordered white junction boxes, but they sent me black ones. So, I mean, I don't know. At this point in time, it's whatever, you know. But I do plan on, I think, running either in between 16 to 32 cameras. I know that seems like a lot, but technically it's 2 buildings. And there's also a lot of weird blind spots. So we want to look at detection, the edge of the property, and then recognition, right? So we want to be able to identify people that are real close. So the system I got is kind of cool. I do have their older system, which is kind of a pain in the butt, and their customer support also was terrible, which I'll explain when I do that. But hopefully they've gotten better because I got the system 4 years ago, and it still is one of the cheaper ones on the market. So like in terms of value, it's still really good value, and that's one of the reasons I got it. But anywho, I'm going to end on that note, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
And always a special thanks to all of our channel members. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.